All right. Okay. Hey, everybody. It is Erin Chase, and it's Wednesday, June 5th, 2024. And we are doing a Pampered Chef Deluxe multi-cooker appliance class tonight. And I'm super excited. A lot of y'all have the multi-cooker, or you may have the old quick cookers. I actually have both of the cooking guides here in case you have some questions. Now, I have the multi-cooker now, and half the time I do call it the quick cooker. I don't have the old quick cooker anymore. I think I gave it away or sold it or something. Anyway, I just didn't have room for two different pressure cookers. But we are going to talk about them. A lot of the things are very, very similar. So if you have the older style, you'll be good. The only thing you may not, there'll be a couple of functions that you don't have. But what we want to do is what we've done. So this is Donna's second class, Guylene's second class. So they've been on here before.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the blender class was probably the best class we've had so far. And Donna, I'll make sure I get you that recording. We already had the on Monday night, we had the grill griddle, and I felt like I kept telling y'all chicken hamburger, chicken hamburger. Because really that's the main thing. But when you can cook that chicken breast in 4 to 6 minutes, I mean, that just in a burger in about 3, it's just really a game changer. So you know, I felt like that's what I kept telling y'all. But anyway, I've got a lot of things. I've got several of the accessories sitting here. So we're just gonna really go through these. But I like to go around what I call the table here, and tell me your name, where you're from, and tell me what you're looking to get out of this class. And if you've been cooking in your multi-cooker or quick cooker, what have you cooked? All right. Okay. And if you don't have one, say you're here to learn more about it. Okay. All right. So we'll start with Guyleen because she likes to talk.
Get to be first every time,
last time. That's right.
Guyleen Farrell from Beulahville, and I do not have the multi-cooker, so I am here to learn about it and probably make a purchase or earn it for free at my next party.
That's right.
Because I've been on the fence for quite a while.
All right. And she has her next party scheduled. And I love to cook in this in the summer because I don't have to heat up the kitchen.
Okay.
However, I love to cook in it in the wintertime because I cook a lot of comfort food in it. Okay.
Okay. It's one question I have, and you can maybe you'll cover this later, but because it's usually just me, and I think that's one reason I've shied away from it. I mean, can you do individual meals or small meals?
You can do small amounts in there. Yes. I've done 2 chicken breasts in there before and it was fine.
Okay.
So, but it's great for leftovers and you can freeze stuff. So,
okay.
We'll talk more about that. All right.
Okay.
Donna B.
Okay. I'm Donna from Concord, North Carolina. I've had a couple parties with Erin now, and I've purchased from lots of Guylenes and other people who have had them, I think. And I have all of the appliances except for the coffee maker, and I don't drink coffee, so I probably won't be getting that one, but it looks amazing. And what I have cooked in my pressure cooker so far is I did those grits, Erin, that you sent me the recipe for. I've done other things in it, but I can't remember what.
Were those grits not amazing?
Yeah, they turned out really good, and I can't remember if it was your recipe, but I added cheese and bacon. So I don't do shrimp and grits, but I like the breakfast grits with the cheese and bacon added.
I love shrimp and grits. Do you have a recipe for shrimp and grits, Erin?
Yes, there's a recipe in here. However, I don't do shrimp and grits at my house because my family is highly allergic, but I do like to enjoy them when I go out to eat.
Okay.
With Carla. I ate seafood when I go somewhere with her a lot of times. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, Doc, your turn.
Hello, everybody. I'm Donna Robertson. I'm from Greenville. And my multi-cooker is safe and well protected in its sealed box. It is not even opened because I look at it and I looked at the sous vide stuff sitting with it and went, yeah, I don't know about this. So I'm here so that I can break it out of its box.
But she has only had it since like January, so it's very new. All right. It's only like 5 months old or 5 or 6 months old. So
And it was free. So
that's right. It was free.
There
Okay.
you go.
Kathy, do you want to go next?
Sure. Kathy Stevens. I'm from Stella. I do not have the cooker, but I am interested in it because if it cooks meals quick and easy, I'm all about that.
All right. Okay. And Carla.
Hello, I'm Carla Owens. I live in Greenville as well. And I have the, what's it called? The old version.
Cooker, the old one. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I have the old version. I don't have the new version.
And what have you cooked in yours in the past?
I love the risotto,
Mm-hmm.
the chicken broccoli risotto, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
With extra cream cheese.
oh, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
And Kathleen, I am also the just one person. So you can definitely make just one person meals or one and then the leftover for
A
tomorrow.
leftover.
So
Okay.
it is very one person friendly.
Okay. Because I think that's one of the reasons I've kind of shied away from it is I felt like you had to have a family to cook a big meal, you know.
Yeah, you can adjust like not necessarily the soups, but the soups like freeze real well.
Oh,
and you can
yeah.
put them in containers. But the other meals you can adjust for a one person meal.
Awesome.
All right. Okay. All right. So let's let me get this. I always when I'm trying to get the screen. No, that's not what I want either. And I'm always trying to get the little screen going to highlight me. I always mess. I do this every time we have a meeting. I'm like, gosh. I do it. Don't y'all remember the other night? I'm like, okay, wait a minute. How do I make myself? It just got it's called highlight or something. Well, give me 1 second. Any questions going in and we'll get it and we'll get all this. We've answered one question from Guy about people.
So I have a question because I'm not real familiar with it, but you mentioned pressure cooker. So, you know, I'm old enough. I remember the old pressure cookers and how dangerous they were and everything. So I was just curious as far as it being, I guess, user friendly and not you don't have to worry about anything exploding or anything like that.
No, you don't. So I was actually asked to be a tester on this, on the multi-cooker or pressure cooker, whatever,
Right.
the cooker. We just
Yeah.
call it cooker for a second. I was a tester for it and I was scared to death. I can tell you that. Well, I learned really quick that all my scaredy catness was unnecessary. It was very safe.
Mhm.
I didn't have to worry about something flying off or anything like
Okay.
that.
Right.
They have a lot of safety features built into it. So I felt very comfortable.
Okay.
And so, cause when they asked me to test a pressure cooker, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know
Right.
about that, but, yeah, I learned really quick that, uh-oh. Okay.
Erin, what you're looking for is in your right hand corner under view, switch to speaker.
Yeah, well, that's what I did, and I am on speaker right now, but it's showing you, not me.
because I'm talking.
Oh,
Yes, correct. Yeah.
okay. Well, now I'm talking and I see
Mhm.
other people in the big picture. So there was another one we did the other night and it worked. Oh, well, I can never remember it. Okay. I guess, can y'all see me?
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
good. Good, good, good. It was called, all right, Carla, if you see it, let me know. It's called Highlight. Highlight Me or something. And I found it the other night. It was perfect. That's what I needed. Well, the other night it was sitting right here, and tonight, of course, I can't find it. Okay. All right. Well, if everybody will mute yourself until you get ready to talk or I ask a question or something, that would be great. And we will get started. Okay. All right. So when you get the can y'all see that? Okay. Give me 1 second. There we go. It's called Spotlight for Everyone. Oh boy. That was interesting. Finally found it. Okay, so now I can see myself and see the tools I'm holding up. So just like with all of our other appliances, it does come with, well, it comes with this. And y'all know I probably haven't picked this up many times, but this is what we call our multi-cooker Bible, okay? Because it's got everything you need to know. And if you follow this, this is going to help you. Okay. We are going to have a very special guest. Don and Guyleen probably remember from the other night. We had a very special guest on our show. He's going to talk to us about sous vide, but let's just talk about the multi-cooker for just a minute and I'll stand up and I don't need you yet. You're good. Oh, Bella needs to go outside. Okay. All right.
Richie.
Hey. All right. So he'll be here in a few minutes. So this is the multi-cooker and a couple of things I love about it. First of all, it has handles on the side, so it's very easy. I store mine in my very bottom of my cabinet. Some people keep theirs out on their counter, but I store mine in that very bottom cabinet. It does have cord storage on the back, so you don't have to worry about that cord getting wrapped around everything. And it does have an on-off switch. And this is funny. Mine stays, I keep, I never use the on-off button. I just usually plug it up and when I'm done, I unplug it. And I think it's because the old one we had did not have this button, but it does have an on-off button. Because I had somebody said that theirs won't work. And I said, have you turned the on-off button on? They had not. Okay. And that little cover that is on the on-off button, leave it up there, okay? That is supposed to stay up there. All right. So you twist it. And another thing about this new one is you can sit the lid in there like that or on this side. And so if there's any liquid or anything, it's going to drip down. All right. When you're cleaning it, take your ring out. And one thing I will tell you, ever so often you may want to replace that ring right there. And we do sell the replacement rings, but if I'm cooking something that has a lot of smell to it, I spray mine down with Clorox spray and then, just put it in my dishwater. And that's what I do. And then this is, if I'm going to start referring to the inner pot, that is what this is. It is a stainless steel pot. It is 6 quarts. It's got a halfway mark in here and it's got a 3/4 mark, a 2/3 mark here. And that is, as high as you want to go is right here at the max line, okay? But that is the inner pot. This can go in the dishwasher, okay? Just to let you know, it can go in the dishwasher. All right. So we're going to go through very similar to what we did with the blender the other night. We're going to go through every one of these programmable things, and I'm probably going to sit down, so I can just look at it better, a little better. And then we're going to talk about the accessories, and I'm going to talk about everything you can do in it, or a lot of things you can do in it. The first button, and we'll just go through the Bible here, or the pressure cooker, multi-cooker Bible. It talks about your control buttons. It tells you what each one of them is. Okay, so here, this looks like a little cloud here, a little puff. That is the steam release. If you mash that and it's done, the steam is going to come pouring out the top. Okay, if you mash it again, it's going to stop. Okay, if you want to keep letting steam out, you're going to mash it. This is going to be completely locked if it is under pressure. So Kathy, I know you were worried about that. You will not be able to open it. It stays locked until all the pressure is completely released. And I like that Pampered Chef did this. They put the release button down here instead of on the top. Our old one had it on the top. It was a good ways away from this, and it was a button that you had to mash down, but this is just a button. You just mash it. And let me tell you, when you mash it, it lets the steam out. Okay. So let's see here. And then we have the wheel. This is the wheel, just like our air fryer and our grill and our blender. This is the wheel where we adjust things here. Okay. And then, we mash it when we're where we want to be. Okay. And then the X, of course, is cancel. All right. So we've got our buttons here. And then we have 16 presets on this machine. And we'll just go through each one of them. And and then we have, this just shows you about the control, the center control and the display, and just kind of tells you about everything. And we'll talk about that in a minute. All right. So the first thing is sear. Now, this is one thing that I really like because, I'm sorry, custom is first. Whoops. Custom is first. And custom is exactly that. If it's not a preset, you can set it on whatever you want to. So let's say you want to do it on 30 minutes at medium pressure or high pressure, you can do that. And it's defaulted to high pressure, but you can change that. And I will tell you, I've never cooked on anything but high pressure on a custom. All right. So just to let you know that. But this is the only setting that you can adjust the pressure on. But like I said, I've had this, several years and never have adjusted the pressure. And our old one, you couldn't adjust the pressure. And maybe that's why I don't adjust the pressure. But let's go to sear next, because I like this. So we'll take the lid off here. So I could set it for sear and then mash the button and put a little butter or oil in there with whatever. And I could like brown a roast on both sides. Before I'm cooking a roast and potatoes and carrots and all that, I could brown my meat. If I wanted to do country style steak, like cube steak in here, I could brown that. I could sear a pork chop, any type of meat. Let's say I'm cooking a recipe and it calls for some sauteed onions. I can saute my onions right in here. How about brown hamburger? Let's say you want a brown hamburger for some vegetable soup. You could brown your hamburger on sear right in here. Now, if I'm searing a piece of meat, most of the time I've got it on high. If I'm just doing a vegetable, I'm going to have it on medium. But you can saute or sear right in this pot right here, which is really neat. So instead of having to get my frying pan out and browning that roast, because I don't know about y'all, but if I'm cooking a roast, it's better. I don't know what it is. It's better if you sear it on both sides. Do y'all agree? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, how do you do that, Erin? Because it's sealed, isn't it? Or
No,
is that
okay, you
not
would
what
have
you?
it open. When you do the sear button, it is open, okay?
Okay,
So you hit it to sear, you mash the button, and it will start counting down from 20 minutes. And you can stop it whenever, but it's going to default to 20 minutes. And you just put your oil or butter in there and put your meat and you just sear it. And you just watch it and brown it on each side. A lot of times I cook like my onion or something in here a little bit and add on sear and add other ingredients. And then I'll put the lid on it, lock it, and then set it for pressurizing. Okay. And we'll talk about that. So if you want to stir fry or brown your meat, you're going to want it on high sear. And the little display will, I mean, it'll just walk you right through it. So when you turn it to sear, you hit the button. It'll say medium or high, low, medium or high. And you just, if you want it on whatever it is, you just hit the button again and you hit the button and it'll start. And it'll start counting down. So if it's on 20 minutes, when it beeps and starts counting down, you know it's heating up. So there is that's that. So definitely you want to, I'm just like scared I'm gonna knock this and that thing's gonna like fly off. So I am gonna there we go, put the lid on. So sear, I love doing the seared meat because it does taste better. So pork chop, if you're doing a roast, if you're doing a, you know, like a brisket, or if you're doing you know, if you need to brown some hamburger, some Italian sausage, any of that, your onions, peppers, anything you need to kind of saute before you put it under pressure, you can do that on sear. Okay. The next thing is eggs. You can do eggs in here, like steamed eggs. So think about boiled eggs. You can do boiled eggs in there. Now, I had actually perfected eggs. I know. I'm excited about that. I had perfected eggs prior to us coming out with the egg button because our old one did not have an egg button. So let me tell you just how I do eggs. You're more than welcome to use the egg button for boiled eggs. But what I like to do is put it on custom for 5 minutes. I put my, it does come with, when you get the pressure cooker, it comes with this rack and it sits in the bottom of this. And you can just pile your eggs up here, just pile them up there. Or if you have the mesh colanders, the ones that look like a screen, you can put one of those in there. Okay, just saying, and throw your eggs in there. We also have steamer baskets. You can put your eggs in the steamer baskets as well. So the way I do boiled eggs, you might want to write this down, is I do 5 minutes. Oh, and disclaimer, you have to have a liquid in here. When you're putting something under pressure, you need at least a half a cup of liquid. So if I'm doing boiled eggs, I'm probably putting about 3/4 cup to a cup of water at the bottom. And you have to have that to make steam, okay? And that is what causes it to build up to pressure. So I've got my eggs in there. I've got my water, you know, in the bottom of that pot. I set it for custom 5 minutes and I hit the button to go. When it beeps at 5 minutes, I just let it sit there for 5 more. Okay, so 5, cook them for 5, let them rest for 5, hit the button, get them out and throw them in an ice bath for 5 minutes. And I'm telling you, the peelings come off in one piece. And they are so pretty. You know, sometimes boiled eggs get gray. These stay nice and pretty, okay?
hit which button? You said hit the button and.
Oh, hit the button here to release the pressure. Sorry, hit the release button.
Okay,
Yep. So 5 minutes on custom, and then you let them rest there for 5 minutes, and then you hit the release button, and then you take them out and throw them in an ice bath for 5 minutes, or at least 5 minutes, okay?
So, about how many can you do in there at one time?
I have done 18 before.
Wow.
And I think you can do more, but I've done 18.
Yeah.
I think
Wow.
somebody told me they did 25 or 30 in there at one time. But I think I did 18. I was taking some to church, and then
Yes.
I make devil eggs to take somewhere. I have to leave some at home because Richie loves devil eggs.
Yeah. Okay.
All righty. Okay. So the next button is poultry. So I use the poultry button a lot. The poultry button, and if y'all hear a noise, my dishwasher's running, okay? The poultry button is next. And it automatically sets it for 15 minutes. So you may have to adjust it depending on, how much, if you have a lot of chicken in there. But the really cool thing about it is you can actually look on page 12 of your book, page 12 and 13, pressure cooking charts, meat and poultry. So it actually tells you, and you can look. So if you have 2 to 4 pounds of bone-in chicken breast, and they are thawed, it says it will be done in 15 minutes. Okay. It says frozen 30. I will tell you, I like to cook it when it's mostly thawed. To me, it tastes better, but you can do it straight from frozen. I just want to let you know that. So let me tell you a couple of the things that I have cooked with chicken. One of my favorite things to cook is actually I think it's in the book here, or it was in the old book. And if it's not in this book, I will actually, I'm going to be sending you some recipes, and it's in the recipes. Okay. So it is teriyaki chicken. I think it's in here. We cook it a ton. Actually, it's not. It's in the old book. So Carly, you probably have this. And I got the idea from here. However, I don't cook it exactly. First of all, I am not going to make, here it is, teriyaki chicken and rice. So it's must not be in the new book. It's in the old one, but it's on the website, so you'll see it. But I put thighs in here, and you can do, bone in or boneless. And sometimes I do legs. All right. So I put them in the bottom of this pot. And then I put 3/4 of a cup of teriyaki sauce and just dump it in there. Now the recipe on Paper Chef's website is actually going to tell you to make teriyaki sauce from scratch. Y'all, nobody has time for that, right? Anybody got time for that? No. And you can get the gluten-free kind, because Taylor has to have that. And then we're going to talk about in a minute the ceramic pot. There's actually a pot.
Erin, is that all the liquid that you need is the teriyaki sauce in that
Yes.
case?
That's
Okay.
all the liquid you need.
And can you use the Pampered Chef teriyaki and honey?
You
sauce?
sure can. You sure
'Cause
can.
I love that stuff.
I
I
know.
could drink it.
And that one is very, very thick. So
Thick.
I would probably put a little bit of maybe a 1/4 cup of water with it, because I
Okay.
found with real thick marinades,
Mhm.
you could burn, because it's got to have a liquid. You may want 1/2 cup of water. It's got to have a liquid so it can steam. Now I can put a cup of salsa in there, and that's enough liquid. I don't have to put in water, because it's loose enough. But that honey teriyaki one from Pamper Chef is super thick. So you just need to make sure. But one thing I love about this chicken teriyaki recipe, it's actually called chicken teriyaki and rice. And I was going to wait to go over the accessories, but this is a great time to bring it in because we're talking about a recipe here. So I'll have my chicken at the bottom, leg quarters, thighs, legs, whatever. At the bottom, I mean, you could do breasts, but for some reason we like thighs and stuff with this one. And then you're going to take this that came with it, and you're going to just put it over top of your chicken, just kind of push it down, and and then this is an accessory. This is called the ceramic pot. You can buy it separate. And works a little different than the rice cooker. I always have to think, what's the measurements? So for this, since it's in the pressure cooker, it's 1 for 1. So 1 cup of rice, 1 cup of water. Okay. You would put that in here if you want to do 1 cup, or you could do 1.5 cups. But it's the same amount of liquid. And then you would take this silicone lid and it would fit over it. I'm not going to mess with it right now. And then you would take it and sit it here. And I will tell you, I mean, it's pretty close to the top. And then you put the lid on, and you can set that, depending on how much chicken you have. 15, you can use the preset for 15, or if you go, it's a lot of chicken, you can bump it up to 20. But I'm
So
telling you,
is the chicken in the ceramic pot or on the bottom
no,
still?
the chicken's on the very bottom. And
Okay.
that is called the pot in the pot method, okay? Because you're cooking two things at one time. You're cooking your protein on the bottom and then your carb on top. I mean, you could even put if you want to do potatoes, you could put potatoes in that top pot and do that. But then you would set it 15 to 20 minutes. And you would set it, and when it's done, I let it sit for 10 minutes and then I mash the button. Okay. A lot of times I let things sit for 10 minutes after it's done, because a lot of times I'm trying to get other stuff on the table or I'm in the middle of something. So a lot of times I let the pressure naturally release, is what we call that, for 10 minutes before I mash the button. Okay. Has everybody got that? But that is probably one of our most go-to recipes because it's so easy, it's so quick, and there's no mess because it's all in here. Okay. I don't have to worry about it. And then I usually cook a green vegetable in the microwave, in the micro cooker. I usually cook some little green peas. That's what we like to eat with it. But it is so yummy. It is so yummy. It's one of my favorite recipes from Pamper Chef. All right, so let's talk about poultry some more. And when you're going in here in your book, it tells you some of the first things to make. Okay. Another thing that I like to do in the multi-cooker is salsa chicken. And Guyleen, this would be, you could really adjust this. It's boneless chickens, boneless, skinless chicken breast, and a cup of salsa. That is it. And you can put, if you want 2 chicken breasts, you can put 2 in there. You can put 3, you can put 4. And y'all, if they're those great big breasts, what I like to do is just take my scissors and cut them in half, okay? Most of the time, that's what I always do. Because first of all, I want the seasonings to be able to get all around it and everything. Plus, it's going to cook faster, more evenly. But it's going to, cutting them in half, it's going to allow that flavor to get all over it more. But I do the salsa chicken a lot, a cup of salsa, and then how many ever chicken breasts you want, 15 minutes in the inner pot, the stainless steel one. Set it for poultry. You can do 15. If you got a lot, do 20. And let it cook. When it gets done, you can immediately mash the button, or you can wait 10 minutes. Okay. Some things tell you to wait to let it naturally release, and some it doesn't matter. Okay. You're never going to mess up if you let it naturally release for 10 minutes. It doesn't matter. That's never going to mess you up. Okay. Things like a roast, you always want to let it rest and then mash the button. Okay.
So it will naturally release, I mean, without pushing that button?
Yes, eventually it will all naturally release and come out once it's done. But I mean, that would take a while. But if it's an afternoon and you're not ready to eat for another hour, just let it sit there. Because what happens is when it's done, it goes into warming mode and it will stay in warming mode. I think it's for 4 hours. So then it becomes like a slow cooker almost, or just for a warming in a warm mode. Okay. So it will keep it warm so you don't have to worry about it if you're not ready to eat. Okay.
But does it stop at cooking and it just
Yes,
keeps
it
it
stops
warm?
it cooking. It stops it cooking, just keeps it warm. All right. So just for example, I told you about chicken teriyaki, and you can use bone in or boneless. And then I told you about the salsa chicken. Salsa chicken you can use for burrito bowls, you could use for tacos, nachos, anything. And then those salad choppers that we all love so good, you can go in there and chop that up and you've got that chicken. So Guyleen, for you could eat a salad tonight with that chicken on it. And tomorrow for lunch, you could have a chicken taco or chicken nachos, or you could have a burrito with that chicken in it. You could mix that chicken with some rice and some more tomatoes and make it like rice chicken and tomatoes. I mean, there's just so many things you could do with that recipe.
And I have one more question about the weights, where on this page of the pressure cooking charts
Uh-huh.
is, it says like 2 to 4 pounds. Is 4 pounds kind of the max that you should try to put a chicken in there?
That's a lot of chicken. I've done 3. I've probably never done 4. And I would be interesting to know. It would be interesting to know if you cooked 4 pounds, would it cook? I know when it says it will cook in 15 minutes or whatever. It would be interesting to know if it was really completely done. 4 pounds of chicken in 15 minutes. I've never done 4 pounds.
Mhm.
I've done 3, and I think mine was a partial, like had a little ice on it, so I did like 20, but it was done. It was done. And the thing about it is, if you're cooking something and then it's not done because you cooked a lot and it's not done all the way, it's not going to take as long to pressurize once it's already hot. So when you put it in there and you want to bring this to pressure, it's going to take about 20 minutes to pressure. I find that the new one we have, the multi-cooker, does pressurize faster than the old pressure cooker or quick cooker we had. This one is a little bit faster on pressurizing, but it does take about 20 minutes at least to pressurize.
And if it isn't done, you can start over.
Yes, you can put the lid back on and you can just turn it back on and pressurize it again, but it's not going to take as long to pressurize because it's already hot in there. So what happens when you get ready to pressurize, when you're doing any of these settings other than the ones we're going to talk about that don't build pressure, it has to get hot and then it has to build steam, and that does take a little time. But once it starts completely cooking, it's going to be fast. It's going to be like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. It's going to be pretty quick. So when you set it, so like for the chicken, when you set it, you'll see this little thing like going around in a circle.
The wheel,
Yeah, it kind of just kind of goes around. And when it starts, it will start counting down. So that's when it'll start. And it does make a little, like a little pss, 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 a little noise, like a little spitting noise every once in a while, or a little clicking noise, and that means it's building pressure. Okay.
So when it says it takes 12 to 15 minutes, that's after it warms up.
Yes, after
pressure. Okay.
So if you have to restart it because something's not done, do you have to add more liquid, or are you good
usually
with the liquid
not.
that's already in there?
That liquid's going to be in there, and it's probably already made more liquid. Because
Okay.
when I cook ribs, I may start with a little bit of liquid, but I have a whole lot of liquid when it's done.
Okay.
So moving along to beef and pork, we will talk about ribs. Okay. Ribs is probably the best ribs I've ever had in here. I'm pretty sure the recipe's in here. If not, it'll be in the recipes that I send you. And I think they're called pressure cooker ribs, maybe. Again, they try to get you to make a barbecue sauce. Look, if Sweet Baby Ray's ain't got it, I don't need it, right? I love the Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. It's really, really good. But they're called root beer ribs, or pressure cooker root beer ribs. Now, I don't like root beer, not one bit. I can't stand the taste of it. However, it makes the best ribs ever. And it's something about the sugar in the ribs. So you'll put if you're preparing ribs, that's a Richie thing. He gets that membrane off, but you could tell your butcher to do it if you didn't want to do it, but you get that membrane, and then you separate it in what? Like 3 ribs a piece, Richie?
What?
The ribs, you separate them like, what do you do? 2 to 3 ribs per section? 2 to 3 bones per section. He'll cut them, and we'll put smoky barbecue seasoning on, or applewood, or one of those seasonings that we have, South Carolina mustard, or we used to have a Dijon mustard. We'll put those on each side, or whatever your favorite seasonings are. You put them in the stainless steel pot in here, and then add you 3/4 cup of that root beer, and get regular root beer. Don't get vanilla like I did the last time, and then we couldn't use it. But root beer is something about the sugar content, and that just makes it so good. So you'll put that in there and you'll set it to beef pork, and that is defaulted for 35 minutes. Richie, do we do ribs for 35 or do we do them for 40? 30, he says 35. Okay, I couldn't remember. So 35 on your ribs, okay? And all you got is your root beer in there and your ribs. When they're done, naturally for 10 minutes and then hit the button. When you take them out, I mean, they will be like so tender, they're almost falling off the bone. What I do is put them on a big, the big sheet pan from Pampered Chef. And then I take my Sweet Baby Ray's and drizzle a little bit, you know, a whole lot of barbecue sauce on each rib. I turn my broiler on my oven, and I pop that pan under the broiler for just a second, and that sauce will get kind of bubbly and sticky. Man, y'all, you pull those out and they are the best ribs, and they just fall all off the bone. They're so good and they're so easy. Okay, so all it is root beer, and you put them in there, and then you take them out and you put them on the sheet pan. I think the Pampered Chef recipe tells you in there to put the barbecue out. When it's done, you can add the barbecue sauce. But to me, I like that stickiness. So that's why I put mine under the broiler for a minute. Okay. All right. Also on beef pork, that's where you would do your roast. So you could set it for sear and season your meat on both sides. Put a little oil or a little butter in the stainless steel pan. Brown that chuck roast or London broil or whatever on both sides. And then, you know, put it in there, put your potatoes, your carrots, your onions, put everything right on top of that meat. You know, that meat is, you know, it's just seared, it's not cooked. And then, you know, hit your X, and then after you've seared it, and go ahead and put in at least a cup of beef broth. Okay, just a cup, that's all you need, because it's going to make a lot more liquid. So you can, I mean, if you got it's a cup's not quite enough, I mean, if you want to do a little more, you can do 2 cups, but it's going to produce a lot of liquid because the potatoes and the carrots and all that, they produce liquid. Okay, so you're going to set it for beef, pork, and you know, if you have a small roast, 35, but if it's bigger, look back here in the back, it might be about 45 minutes. But set that, and when it's done, let it naturally release for at least 10 minutes. But I'm going to tell you that roast is going to be so good. You can also do like the Italian beef with it, where you put the chuck roast in there and then you put the pepperoncini peppers in there. You can do that in there as well. Another recipe you can do. So that it makes the best roast. And we hadn't made a roast in a while, but that's a winter meal to me. That's something I want on a cold day. I don't want that when it's 90 degrees. It just, me and Richie were in the mountains and we were at Paula Dean's and we were trying to figure out what we want. He's like, well, we could get pot roast. I said, it's too hot for a pot roast. You know, it really was. All right, let's see here. Moving right along to seafood. I will be honest, we don't cook seafood at my house because my family is allergic. However, okay, you have to leave. Okay, I'll send you, Kathy, I'll send you the recording. So you'll be able to have that. And this one might, this one might take a little longer tonight than the other ones, but I'm going to try to be quick. And then we can ask questions. Seafood. I have several customers that have the steamer baskets that go in here, and they put shrimp in here for just 2 or 3 minutes and it's done. And they love it. So I don't use the seafood button because my family's allergic, but you definitely can. And a lot of the people that use it for scallops and shrimp and things like that. Carla, don't you use the steamer baskets? Are you one of those friends?
Could you use the colander too? Like you talked about before?
I don't see why not. But the steamer baskets has a handle, so it's easy to get out. Yeah. Okay. Maybe Carla fell asleep. I'm not sure. Or she may have had to answer the phone or something. Let's move along real quick. White rice, you can do white rice in here. And it tells you right how to do it in the book. Brown rice, it does brown rice too. I think that I use the whole grains for that. And then the soup button, I just put everything that I need to make in a vegetable soup or anything. And I just hit the soup button and just let it go. Okay. Let it go. The next one is beans. I have a really good recipe that I do once a year. And I probably need to find it because y'all gonna want it. It's for like dry butter beans. Dry butter beans. So what I do is I not brown, but I cut up bacon with the scissors and I put it down there in the pot and saute that. I also do some like dry sausage as well. I cut that up and I throw that in there, and then some, was it kielbasa or something, or no, Cajun sausage, something like that. And then I put my beans in there and onion and broth, and I pretty much, fill it up to the 2/3 lines, put the lid on and cook it. Man, and then at the end I add spinach because on New Year's you have to eat something green, right? So he don't like collards, so I put spinach in there. And that recipe is so good. I need to find it so I can send it to y'all, but that's pretty much what I put in it, and it's delicious. I can't find it until it pops up on my Facebook about New Year's time, but it is delicious. All right, let's see here. Dessert. Okay, so you can make, Guyleen, you live by yourself, so you might not want a big cheesecake, but got a little cheesecake. And this called the pressure cooker springform pan. We have a regular springform pan, but this one is the pressure cook one. And I'm almost positive we still have it up there because I was looking to see which accessories we still sold. But this is really good, but you could also do like a lasagna in here and sit it. This is neat, y'all. You could put your lasagna in here. I got a hot mess in here. Put your rack down, put a little bit of water. You got your lasagna. Got to put your ceramic. If not, it'll be sopping wet. And you always got to have your little carriage here, and it comes with it. And you sit it in there, and you could make like a lasagna in that pan right there. But you can make a cheesecake in there, all different kinds of pies and things like that. There is a small bundt cake pan. And this, I don't think you set this one on the rack. I think this one actually sits right down. Yeah, it just sits right down in the pan. I've made a couple of cakes, not many. That won't go that far in this house. If I'm cooking a cake, Richie wants a big pound cake or a lemon cake or something like that. So the dessert button, you can also make puddings and mousses and things like that. Okay. So that's just some other things that you can make. I'm just trying to get all these, trying to make room so I can. All right, there we go. Put that back. All right, let's see here. There's a steam button in here. So if you want to steam some broccoli or something for just a few minutes, or a veggie, you can do that with the steam button. The slow cooker button. Let's talk about the slow cooker because I had somebody, they expressed their concerns. So a couple of things I told them. If you buy a traditional crock pot, your heat is coming from the bottom and from the sides. That's a traditional crock pot, okay? It's just going to cook. It's going to cook fast. And a lot of times it overcooks, okay? Our slow cooker, our only heating element is on the bottom. So you are heating it from the bottom, and it's got to climb up the sides too. So it's going to take longer. I tell people if they want to do the slow cooker, put it on high and do not touch it. Leave this lid on it, because you can get this lid, the glass lid, and that's great if you're serving and you just want to have a lid on it. But really, when you're cooking, when you're searing, you could have this where it wouldn't pop if you didn't want it to pop, or if it was popping. But always, I had a girl say, I put it on slow cook and it's been an hour and nothing, it's not hot at all. Well, that's because you put all this cold stuff and frozen stuff in it. And our heat only comes from the bottom. It's going to take a while. So it's important to leave that lid up there. All righty. Okay. We're going to come back to sous vide yogurt. My friend Gail Saya, I don't like yogurt, so I don't make yogurt, but my friend Gail Saya makes yogurt all the time. Guyleen, if you like yogurt, you like yogurt? Okay, you don't.
No,
Okay.
I don't. I've
I know,
tried
I
every
just-
kind of yogurt in the world, and I
I
can't.
have
It
to.
tastes like sour milk.
Right. The only kind of yogurt I like is the kind you get from Sweet Frogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only kind I
Frozen.
like with all the toppings. Okay.
Yes.
But you can make yogurt, and my friend, it makes her enough to last her 3 or 4 days, and she says it's delicious. She loves it. And it's super easy, but that's just something I don't do because I don't like yogurt. And then sterilize. So let's say you need to sterilize some milk bottles, Donna Robertson, for your new grandbaby. You can sterilize some bottles and some nipples and some pacifiers and all the things in there. You can also you can sterilize anything in there. Now, somebody asks, is it good for a water bath for Canon? Probably not, but you can sterilize in it. Okay. So that button is there. We're going to actually have another accessory I do want to show you. The lid is over there because it was dirty. This is the egg bite. So, if you look at that, kind of looks like, Starbucks egg bites. And let me tell you, they like their egg bites real good. But there's recipes all over Pinterest and stuff for copycat sous vide egg bites. And we have a recipe on Paper Chef's website, but you can make those little egg bites right in here. You put the lid on it and put them in there and set it, and you can make the little egg bites that Starbucks makes. So Richie, do you want to come in here and talk about sous vide really quick? He's going to tell you what it is, and then he's going to talk about it just a little bit. But while he's coming in here, y'all, the book that came with this, well, it tells you how to make homemade yogurt, so we're not even going to talk about that. But there's getting started recipes. They tell you about the eggs. They tell you to make sous vide carrots. The pressure cooker chicken parm, that is delicious. That's probably, we haven't made that in a while either. We'll make it while Taylor's gone next week to the US Open. That'll be a good one. And then, because if she's here, we have to make gluten-free pasta. But you can use gluten-free pasta. It will work. But those are like your getting started recipes that Pamper Chef says to cook. But then you have the pressure cooker meat and poultry charts, and it just tells you exactly what to do. And if you don't see it up here, Google it. Just Google pressure cooker, whatever, and you'll be able to find it. You've got your rice, your beans, your vegetables, and then you've got sous vide. He's going to talk about sous vide. He's going to talk to you really good about it. And then there's recipes. Yeah. Then there's all these recipes, and we've cooked a ton of these, and they're so good. So he's going to talk about sous vide. First of all, he's going to tell you what sous vide is, and then he's going to, tell you how to do it. And I'm going to go get that little reusable bag.
Okay, sous vide is a water bath. How are y'all doing?
French style.
Good.
And the word is sous vide. I think they got French out of that. But it's a water bath that you set the temperature of the water at the temperature you want the food, and you can set the time, and it will slowly heat up to that temperature and then stay that. And no matter how long you leave it in there, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, it will not go beyond that. I really love to do filet mignons on sous vide.
Oh, and
I'm talking.
Wait. I will say this, sous vide is not your weeknight cooking like your everyday cooking.
No, it takes some time.
This is called slow cooking here, very slow cooking. All right, go ahead.
Can I?
Yes.
Okay. But if you buy a good filet, they're usually thick. And if you put them on the grill, you wind up burning the outside, and the inside is still rare. You can't even get it to medium rare. But with sous vide, I can take a good thick fillet, put it in. I just use Ziploc bags. It's got to be a waterproof bag. I'll set the temperature for the water at 130. Put it in the bag. It heats up. When it gets to the temperature of 130, it'll beep. You put the bag inside, close the lid, hit it to start. It'll start running up. I usually run it for about 3 hours. When I take it out, the temperature of the meat is 130, dead on. It's been holding at that for as long as I left it in there. You take it out, throw it in a cast iron skillet, sear the outside for about 30 seconds, and you got a perfect medium rare filet mignon with that good crust on the outside, but perfect medium rare on the inside. And it just sit there and did it itself for 3 hours. I only really had to cook for like 30 seconds in the cast iron skillet to get a perfect steak. So sous vide works really good. You can do chicken, anything else. I like it because I can walk away from it. It can sit there just like you were using a crock pot or a slow cooker, something that's going to cook for hours. You come back, it's never going to be overdone, because if you set the temperature for 140, when you go back to it 5 hours later, whatever you cooked is at 140. It is at the temperature you set it at. So a lot of times I will do it and I will set the temperature of whatever I'm cooking a little bit below done, because I may want to, like if I do a chicken breast, cook some chicken breast in here and do like meal prep, I could get them to like 150, 155, but then I want to finish it in a pan so I got a little crust on the outside. So that I won't overcook the chicken breast, I'll cook it to about 150 in here and then throw it in a pan and then bring it up to that 160, 165 in the pan, get that good crust on the outside, but it's still only going to take, a couple of 3 minutes in a pan to get to that. So it's just an easy method of cooking that makes real juicy food. You don't overcook and you can walk away and let the pot do the work.
All right. Okay. Thank you for that. So, and that was totally new to us when we started. And he said you could use a Ziploc bag, but if we care about the environment, we can use the Pampered Chef reusable
Yeah,
bag.
you made me buy those, so
Yeah. So
they're also
they're really
sitting there
good.
safe in its package.
That's right. So you can put them right in here, and they're nice and thick too. So you don't have to worry about your Ziploc bag having a leak in it. So these are really good. And I will say, when you pull that meat out of here for out of the sous vide, it is going to be like gray, ugly. Especially beef. It's going to be horrible looking. But when you throw it in there and get that sear on it, that gives you that pretty texture, and that's also going to just add the flavor to it. Yeah, chicken's going to it's going to be white or beige or whatever.
You put water in there?
Yes, he didn't
You'll
say
put
that.
water in there.
Yes, you
Okay.
fill it up to 2/3. Is it half or 2/3? Half. Fill it halfway full to the halfway mark. And then when you put the bag in there, you'll get all the air out of the bag completely. Get all the air out, squeeze it all out, because the bag needs to sink except for the top. The seal is supposed to be sticking up above the water. So sometimes you have to kind of fold
And
it
it's only the meat in the bag, no liquid.
No liquid in the bag. So
Okay.
you're gonna immerse it in the water.
So if you like marinate your meat, you need to pat it dry before you put it in the pouch.
yes.
Okay.
Yep. And it gives you a lot of little ideas in the book. So just as normal with our follow-up email, I will include the PDF of the book in case you've lost yours or misplaced it, or you want a second copy for safekeeping. I will also link recipes to multi-cooker, pressure cooker, whatever, in the email as well. So if they're not in the book, but they're on the website, it will direct you to the right place. Does anybody else have any questions?
This was very helpful.
Well, good. I'm so glad. That makes me happy because,
Well,
Yeah.
it makes me not afraid to try it now.
Yeah.
It makes me think I'm gonna get one now.
uh-oh, yay. Yay. Well, I'm excited. I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. And okay, so y'all, I'm a slacker. My mystery host has not closed. So the shopping spree is just under $900, I think.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it is a lot. So if you want to be in on that, you're more than welcome to place an order. And we will show you, I'll show you again, what the, whoops, that's not what I wanted to show you. Sorry, wrong screen, which I know I hadn't shared it yet, but still. Okay. And just to show you, we do have a couple of specials this month. All right. Share screen. Okay. All righty. So we do have a couple of specials this month. These are available through the end of the month. If you don't have these, they were on sale last month and they were a hit, so they continued these only. We had some Father's Day gifts too, but they continued these. So these are good to the end of June 30th, 2024 at midnight, just in case somebody's watching this later. Make sure we got this date right. And then if you, let's see here. Our special, if you're hosting, the coffee maker is available for host in June, but next month it'll be available for everyone. And then we did have some new products come out this month. Let me see if I have a picture of them. I don't think I do. Oh, well, I don't think I do. So anyway, we did come out with a cold brew pitcher this month. And we came out with some coffee pouches for the cold brew. And then we came out with a Frappuccino, vanilla Frappuccino, and a Java chip Frappuccino mix. So if you're interested in any of those just went on sale. But that coffee maker is going to be available next month for everybody this month for host only. So anyway, well, I've kept y'all, I try to keep these things for no longer than an hour. And I've kept you to 7 over. Is there any, I know, right? Oh my God. Is there any questions? Anybody else having questions, or are we good to go? Everybody gonna, okay. So, the Donnas, y'all gonna get y'all's out of the box now?
Mine's been out.
Okay.
but-
Yours has been out, but Donna, you're gonna get yours out of the box. I mean, you can always sterilize some bottles for the baby.
No, it's the second baby over there, so he don't get nothing sterilized. You just spit on it and stick it back in his mouth, you know.
That's
I'm
right. That's right.
teasing, I'm teasing. No, I am gonna get it out and I'm gonna try it tomorrow night.
All right, good. If you,
Actually, I'd like to eat something right now. It always makes me hungry when you talk about cooking stuff.
I know. I'm like, I might need a
I
snack.
agree.
All right. Well, thank y'all for being on. We have 2 more electronic classes next week. If you're not registered, register. And I know some of y'all have told me I want to be on it anyway. Because it only accepts registration one time. Because somebody said, I wanted to register for some more classes and now I can't get up there. And I'm like, well, you already registered for some. You only get 1 response. I said, but I can add you in. So next week we're doing the air fryer on Monday. And then I think on Thursday we're wrapping it up with the stand mixer. So anyway, that'll be exciting. And then maybe once I get done with Bible school, maybe we'll or maybe next month we'll do one on the coffee maker. And maybe we can make that non-coffee drinker, Donna. You might not like coffee, but the thing about
I
it is
don't either.
it does hot tea. You can do cider, hot chocolate, things like that, lattes. It's interesting that we've had several Pampered Chef directors and consultants go from non-coffee lovers to now they like a good salted caramel latte or something like that. Anyway. All right. Well, y'all have a good night and I will see y'all soon.
All right,
Thank
thank you.
Ryan.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.